Marty Cohn, and welcome to episode 36 of Rotary Cares, the monthly award-winning show that will tell you everything you want to know about Rotary International and more. Rotary is a global network of 1.2 million friends, neighbors, leaders, and problem solvers that come together to make positive, lasting change in communities at home and abroad. Established over 115 years ago, Rotary now has 35,000 plus clubs all over the world. Rotary's motto is service above self, and Rotarians adhere to the four-way test, an ethical guide for Rotarians to use in their personal and professional relationships. The test has been translated into more than 100 languages. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? In Brattleboro, there are two clubs, the Brattleboro Rotary Club that meets every Thursday over lunch, and the Brattleboro Sunrise Rotary Club that meets every Wednesday over breakfast. During COVID, both clubs meet via Zoom. Today, we will be discussing passing the gavel, a time when a club president steps down. Our guests are Brattleboro Rotary Club past president Milt Gilmore and Brattleboro Sunrise Club past president Tristam Johnson. Welcome, Milt.
Good morning, Marty.
Well, thanks for coming on the show, Milt. So, Milt, how long have you been involved with Rotary?
Well, come July, it'll be, I believe, 60 years.
60 years. Okay, Milt, I'm gonna tax your memory here. Do you remember why you joined Rotary?
I was new to the community. I wanted to meet people. I wanted to get involved in the community, and being part of a community is being active in the community, the way I feel.
That's great. Now, you were club president from 1971 to 1972.
Right.
So do you remember what goals did you set for yourself when you became president?
Marty, the club was very small. The club wanted to grow. I would say that adding new members was a problem then. And we also didn't have a whole lot of projects like we do now. We needed projects to do in the community, and most of them were small projects because it was a small club. But it worked out. It always does.
All right. So now, what's some memories from your year as president?
Oh, lots of good memories. I had to really, I made some quick notes here. We used to have a Christmas party. Tony Barasinski was Santa Claus. We had school kids come in. It was a highlight of the year. It was a lot of fun, and I think it did a lot of good for the kids that needed some sort of Christmas in their lives.
That's a wonderful memory. So,
and then of course the other thing that we did that involved the whole club was the horse show. We were involved with the horse show. We split the profits with the police department. That was a lot of physical work, but it was a lot of fun. And of course, we had the annual gun show after that, and it was. There was other projects we did. We even had an auction, an antique auction. But that's just a few of the things that we did. But it was still, the club was in growing mode as far as I was concerned.
Well, so at that point, the club was 21 years old.
Yeah.
But really cool, a horse show and a gun show. I think when we talk in the next segment with Tristam, I'm going to talk about maybe bringing back the horse show. I think that sounds really interesting.
We did it with the Brattleboro Riding Club, and they were in big help about getting judges and course setup and that type of thing. It was on Harris Hill, right below the ski jump. It was well attended, and it was a good show. But the club, I think, was willing to keep running it, but the horse people kind of gave up on it.
Oh, well, we'll see what we could do. We'll do about that, Milt. So, Milt, how have you remained active as a past president of the Brattleboro Rotary Club?
Well, I tried to stay active in the club. Of course, I have done the Sugar on Snow for eons. I picked that up from somebody that actually passed away, and it's something I really enjoy. We do it with the Brattleboro Winter Carnival, and it's a good way for the club to a day event, and you see people come through the line that it's a lot of fun to see them. And I've been lucky enough to have a good association with Marty Sprague over in Whitingham. He's been doing it with us, the club, for years. He furnishes the syrup and the expertise for cooking it.
So, Milt, looking back over the 40 years since you were club president, what changes have you seen in Rotary?
Well, I would think some interesting things. We now have student Rotarians. We never had that when I was president. We started the Gateway Foundation for scholarships for high school students. There was that was only a few, but I'm trying to think of some of the other things here. Hang on a minute.
Well, I'll help you out, Milt. One of the big things was women.
That's right. That's in my notes here. We had women in the club for the first time. We had started the Clean Water for the World. There's a lot of stuff that happened in the club that I think the club became more international than local, and that's a good thing. I was excited to work on local projects, but we really were involved, for instance, with the Clean Water for the World. We got the whole thing started, really.
Well, and Pure Water for the World is still today, and the club is still supporting it.
Yes.
So Milt, last question for you.
Yeah.
What's the best thing for you about being a Rotarian?
I thought about this, and it's something that other people probably feel as strongly as I do. I like to come in the door for the meetings. I like to see Rotarians, shake their hands, greet them, talk about common things, about what's happening in the community and their lives. I think to me, that's very important. And I guess probably I really like the programs. I mean, these people in our club have some great ideas and bring in guest speakers. I enjoy them. I really do.
That's great, Milt. Well, Milt Gilmore, thanks for taking the time to be on the show. We'll be right back with our guest, Tristam Johnson. But first, this brief message from Rotary International, doing good in your community, doing good in the world. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Rotary Cares, the award-winning monthly show that demystifies Rotary International. Our guest is Tristam Johnson, a past president of Brattleboro Sunrise Rotary Club. Welcome, Tristam.
Hello, Marty. Good to see
Hey,
you.
thanks for coming on the show. So I'm going to ask you the same questions I asked Milt. So first off, how long have you been involved with Rotary?
Well, it's quite a long period of time, and then there were several hiatuses. So I was involved out in Colorado. So I would say gross probably on the plus side of 30 years with some intermissions.
Okay, now I'm going to tax your memory. Why did you join?
I think at the moment that I joined, I was I was serving as the president of the Board of Education in Summit County, Colorado, and that position had a reserved seat on the local Rotary Club. So I think that by sort of local protocol, I became a Rotarian due to that obligation I had. But my grandfather and father both had been Rotarians. So my grandfather probably started not long after Rotary was founded. And Dad was Rotarian for years and years in Princeton, New Jersey. So I think that once after the first connection, it just stuck.
Great. Well, I'm glad that it did. Now you were club president from 2008 to 2009. Do you remember what goals you set for yourself when you became president?
I've thought about that question, and quite honestly, I think the first thing that I thought about was whether I could change up the routine so that things wouldn't just be plug and play. And so we have a part of the program where significant facts, significant history, or significant events. And I decided instead to read poetry. And I have this fabulous set of poetry books, and I'd always pick something short. And sadly, the pattern did not stick. So it did not become a habit. But nonetheless, it was a good thing to do. The other thing, I think at that time, I had been involved internationally for a long time. And so I felt that trying to open my club to international connections more aggressively probably was part of my goals. But quite honestly, Marty, I don't remember.
Okay, and that's fair because, unlike Mill, who had to remember 40 years, you only have to remember 14. But let me ask you this. Can you remember, like, what are some of your memories from that year, 2008 to 2009?
Well, during that period of time, I had spotty consultant contracts. And so I was able to ride my bike into the meeting. And so the marvelous thing about riding your bike in the morning on Route 30 is that you get to listen to the waterfall, you get to listen to the birds, you actually get to smell the fragrance of the flowers. And so I had really a wonderful start to every day riding my bike into Rotary. And it was also a time where I really needed that routine, that schedule, that sort of preemptive part of my day. So that was a very positive thing.
That's a good memory to have. So, how have you remained active as a past president?
Well, initially, I was part of the launch of, or actually launched Pure Water for the World. I mean, I wrote the initial 3H grant that funded the first major investment in that strategy. And then Carolyn Mude took over after that because I was getting assigned overseas, or actually I was being assigned to another job up in Burlington. So I needed to move away. And at that point, Carolyn became the executive director of Pure Water for the World. So that exposure really helped my connection. The Hands of Honduras post Hurricane Mitch, which was in 80, let's see, that would have been 94, is that right? And so there were several events that were international. So then after I quit or lost or ended my year, Hurricane Irene hit our Vermont, and out of that, a Rotary grant was applied for to address the damage. And I learned about this thing called the Cadre of Technical Advisors, and which essentially is a program that Rotary established in the late 90s that asks Rotarians with various skills in project planning, project implementation, project evaluation to volunteer their time using those skills. And then they become sort of the in-house mentors and temporary coaches for clubs wanting to design a project, but really don't have the expertise to really look at how to cross all the T's, dot all the I's, and make sure that it's sustainable. So I applied, was accepted, and since 2011 have been a member of the Cadre of Technical Advisors, and have reviewed over 30 projects globally that had to do with economic and community development. They've been also involved in the health domain, microfinance. It's been a fabulous connection. And just recently, there's a Hearts of Europe program, which is a subset of this idea, which builds a connection between Rotary and USAID in Eastern Europe, that has really trying to amplify the expertise Rotary has to do projects. So it's been a wonderful path since that first connection.
That's great. And you and I also had the pleasure of working at Pine Ridge. And,
That's right.
In that project. And I also, I know you're not saying it, but I hope it's not modesty, because you're doing good stuff. You also bring a lot of international ideas to your club, you know, especially with your fundraiser for coffee,
Right.
to help students. You know, so it's really, you're a good role model for a past president. Tristam, I'm trying to, you know, so in the last, 14 years, have you seen any changes in Rotary?
Yes, there's been an intense effort on the part of the trustees and Rotary to increase the number of global grants, increase the interest in clubs to get involved in global grants, to reach out internationally to offer assistance elsewhere. And when you mentioned the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota, because it's a reservation, it is considered a unique property, therefore qualifies to receive global grant money. So that's been the major initiative I've seen. And there's also, as a subset of the cadre, there's a group, an organization called RAG, Rotary Action Groups. And the Rotary Action Groups are composed of anyone who has an interest in maternal health or accounting or economic development or water or sanitation. And they join these things, and the one that most applies, and then they function together, trying to help out wherever they feel they can. So it's sort of an informal group of people who simply have an interest, either regional, but certainly based on a specific discipline, that allows them to also assist with outreach with assistance to those in need.
That's great. So, all right, last question for you. I want you to think back, 30 years. What's the best thing for you about being a Rotarian?
Cadre. The cadre. I can't tell you how satisfying it is to work with the raw ideas of a project based on what a community feels they want, and helping them helping the Rotary Club create a sustainable impact once the program is over. It's truly the most satisfying thing I could possibly have been involved with. because it's not me, it's them, and it's just assisting with ensuring the sustainability of the project. So for me, that's what it's all about.
Well, thanks for taking the time to be on the show, Tristam.
You're welcome. Thanks, Marty.
All right. Well, I would like to thank our guests, Milt Gilmore and Tristam Johnson. 4 Rotary years ago, Sunrise past President Kevin Yeager and I started this show. District governors, new club presidents, past club presidents, new members, long-standing members, over 55 Rotarians in total have discussed various aspects of Rotary: community service, international service, Polio Plus, Pure Water for the World, Rotary scholarships, Rotary Youth Exchange, and gift giving. You can check out all the shows by visiting the Brattleboro Community Television website, brattleboro.tv.org, and you can watch any of these shows. Speaking of BCTV, I'd like to thank BCTV for recognizing us as the 2018 Nonprofit Member of the Year, and also last year making me the host of the year. And a special thanks to Brian Bashaw for helping us bring this show to you each month. If you have any questions or comments, send them to info@brattleboro.rotaryclub.org, info@brattleboro.rotaryclub.org. I'm Marty Cohn. Thanks for watching.